Hey guys, so we're going to do some more review topics. Okay, today we're going to look at adding and subtracting fractions. Okay, so we're going to review a little bit back. Okay, so adding and subtracting fractions, there's just a couple of steps, but they're very important steps. First step is that you have to get a common denominator. Okay, the denominators have to be the same. If they're not the same, you can't add or subtract. Okay, then once the denominators are the same, all you do is add or subtract the numerators. Okay, you do not change the denominators. And finally, reduce if needed. Okay, so common denominators, that's what we're looking for. All right, so we're going to start with 1/4 plus 1/2. Okay, so our common denominator is the least common multiple of 4 and 2. Okay, now if you have trouble figuring out the LCM, what you can do is list the multiples of 2 and list the multiples of 4. What are my multiples of 2? 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on. And what are my multiples of 4? 4, 8, 12, 16, and so on. Now you look for what they have in common, and it's the smallest number. Okay, so the smallest number they have in common is 4. So our job is to change these denominators to 4. Okay, so 1/4, do I need to change it all? No, so he stays 1/4. Okay, I need to change this 1/2 though. So what times 2 gets me to 4? Well, 2 times 2. And if I do it to the bottom, got to keep it fair, I have to do it to the top. So the top becomes 2. Okay, once you have this, super easy, add the top. 1 plus 2 is 3. Do not change the bottom. Okay, 3/4, we can't reduce any further, so that is our answer. Okay, your turn. Pause the video and try these two problems. Okay, the first problem, I got to find my common denominator. Okay, if you think about your least common multiples, my common denominator is 10. Okay, so this guy didn't change at all, so I keep him the same. How did I get from 5 to 10? Well, I multiplied by 2, so if I do it to the bottom, I got to do it to the top. So that becomes 8. Finally, just add the numerators. 8 plus 1, 9/10. Okay, pause the video, try the other one. Okay, 3/4 minus 1/12. Again, if you need to list your factors, so 4, 8, 12, 16. Oh, wait a minute, that's 12. There's 12. So it's going to be something over 12. Okay, this one didn't change, so I leave the 1. How did I get from 4 to 12? Well, I multiplied by 3. If I do it to the bottom, do it to the top. So that becomes 9 on top. Okay, so now we just subtract. 9 minus 1 is 8/12. Now, can I reduce that at all? Absolutely. Something goes into both 8 and 12. 4 does. How many times is 4 going to 8? Twice. How many times is 4 going to 12? 3 times. So your answer is 2/3. Let's look at this one. 3/5 minus 7/8. Okay, not as easy to see our common denominator. So let's go ahead and list our multiples of 5 and 8. Well, we got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, okay, and so on. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, and so on. Do they have anything in common? Yeah, they do. They have 40 in common. Okay, so that's something over 40. How did I get from 5 to 40? Well, I just multiplied by 8. I did it to the bottom, I did it to the top. It's 24. How did I get from 8 to 40? Well, times 5. Okay, so 7 times 5 is 35. Okay, so now we're just going to subtract. 24 minus 35. Oh, I'm taking a bigger number away from a smaller. That means my answer is going to be negative. Okay, so it's going to be negative something over 40. Well, to subtract integers, remember, we can kind of just flip it around. What's 35 minus 24? Well, that's 11. So 24 minus 35 is negative 11. So my answer is negative 11/40. That cannot be reduced any further, so we are done. Okay, your turn. Pause the video and try these problems. 8 and 6. Well, you could absolutely multiply them by each other, as we saw that worked in the last problem. However, there might be something smaller. So 8, 16, 24, 32. Okay, 6, 12, 18, 24. Oh, right there. They both have a 24 in common. So we're going to make them something over 24. Oops, I don't know what just happened there. So let's undo that. How did I get from 8 to 24? Times 3. If I do it to the bottom, how to do it to the top. How did I get from 6 to 24? Times 4. Do it to the bottom, do it to the top. Okay, so again, if you look at it, small minus big means I'm going to have a negative number. So it's 20 minus 3. Well, that's 17. So 3 minus 20 is negative 17. Okay, and 17 is prime, so this does not reduce any further. Okay, so there's my final answer. Okay, pause the video, try the next one. Okay, so 3 and 7. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. Okay, 7, 14, 21. There they are, 21. How do I get from 3 to 21? Times 7. So it becomes 14 over 21. How do I get from 7 to 21? Times 3. So it becomes 3 over 21. 14 plus 3, 17 over 21. Let's look at some mixed numbers. Okay, remember mixed numbers are when you have a whole number and a fraction together. So there's different ways you can approach these. I like to keep it the same way for adding and subtracting so you don't have as many rules to remember. So the first thing we want to do is change it to an improper fraction. Okay, remember an improper fraction is a fraction that has a bigger numerator than it does a denominator. So to do this, I use something I call the jelly bean trick. Okay, I'm going to draw a jelly bean around these two numbers. Multiply these two numbers. 2 times 3 is 6. And I add the top. So it's 6 plus 2. That becomes 8. The denominator stays the same. Okay. Again, jelly bean. Multiply these two. 3 times 5 is 15. Plus the 1 gives me 16. These are now improper fractions. Okay. So from here, we need to get a common denominator. So what is my common denominator between 3 and 5? Well, your common denominator is 15. Okay, so how did I get from 3 to 15? Let me just multiply by 5. So it becomes 40 over 15. How did I get from 5 to 15? Well, it's just times 3. 16 times 3 is 48. Add them together, I get 88 over 15. Now, since we started the problem with mixed numbers, we need to end the problem with a mixed number. So how do we do this? Well, 88 over 15 turns into a division problem. Okay, 88 over 15 is the same thing as 88 divided by 15. So 88 goes inside, 15 goes inside. Okay, so we got to start thinking how many times does 15 go into 88? So you could list the factors if you want. 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90. Okay, 90 is too big, so it goes in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So 5 times 15 is 75. Subtract, you get 13 left over. Then this is how your answer goes. This is the big number, so 5, 13 divided by 15. That is your final answer. Okay, your turn. Pause the video and try these problems, please. Okay, first step, we're going to do the jelly bean. 9 times 4 is 36. 36 plus 7 gives us 43 over 9. Minus 1 times 6 is 6, plus 5 is 11. Get the denominator the same. Okay, so what is my common denominator between 9 and 6? Well, you could do 9 times 6, but you're going to get some really big numbers. So let's see, 9, 18. Oh, 6 goes into 18. We're going to change these both into something over 18. How did I get from 9 to 18? Just times 2. 43 times 2, 86. How did I get from 6 to 18? Times 3, 33. Okay, so then we just subtract. If you need to, off to the side. Okay, gives you 53. So I have 53 over 18. Okay, again, we started with a mixed number, so we need to end with a mixed number. So I'm going to do 53 divided by 18, and I'm going to list my factors of 18. 18, 36, see, it'd be 54. Oh, 54 is too big, so it goes in twice. That gives me 36. If I subtract, I get 17. So big number is on top. That's your numerator. 18 is your denominator. There's your final answer. Okay, pause the video and try the next one. Okay, so again, we're going to start the jelly bean trick. 3 times 8 is 24, plus 1 is 25 over 8, plus a negative 4 ninths. All right, so what's my common denominator between 8 and 9? Well, 8 times 9, so we got 8, 16, 24. Yep, and so we just need to do 8 times 9. That gives us 72. Okay, how did I get from 8 to 72? Times 9, do it to the top. If I hand you 9 quarters, how much money do you have? You have $2.25. Okay, 9 times what gave me 72? 9 times 8, so we do it to the top. Negative 4 times 8 is negative 32. Okay, so this is 225 plus a negative 32. That's the same thing as 225 minus 32. Okay, that gives me 183. 193, goodness gracious, 193. Okay, so I get 193 over 72. Again, we started with a mixed number, so we need to end with a mixed number. So right here, we're going to do 193 divided by 72. So 72, 144, plus another 72 would be 216. Oh, that's too big. So we know it goes in twice. It gives me 144. I need to subtract. Okay, make that an 8. 13 minus 4 is 9. So that gives me 49. So 249 over 72. And there you go. Okay, so that's it. That's how you add and subtract fractions. Hopefully that was a good review. Okay, so we will, again, since this is a flipped classroom this year, we will practice this in class. Hope you guys have a wonderful night. Make sure you're prepared with questions.